Hello and welcome to I Came Here With Nothing, the podcast where we watch Deal or No Deal. We watch and see if these guys can pick the right briefcase and walk away with a bit of cash, or will they fuck things up and pick the monkey and walk away with nothing. Our very special guest today is one of the best comedians going around who's taken a bit of a break and gotten back into the game recently, which I'm very excited about. It's good to see you. Nick Sun, welcome to the program.
It's great to be here. I can't think of a better way to spend my Saturday morning than when you're watching Deal or No Deal.
Yeah, it kind of is like, it is cool. Like, it's a bit of an overcasty day here in Sydney where we record the podcast. Saturday mornings to me were always like cartoons.
Yeah.
But Deal or No Deal, just as much of like a stoner kind of TV show.
But usually Deal or No Deal is like 6 p.m, right? Before the news. So this is kind of like an unholy inversion. For sure.
Although, I think because they're just playing reruns whenever, the show does air sometimes on a Saturday morning. So they're
just playing reruns now?
Sure.
What I want to know is like who watches it, aside from us?
The core demographic, I think, are people who are sick of the news.
Okay.
Because it's on at 6 p.m, which is traditionally news time.
I picture like 60-year-old people in country towns. Is that racist of me?
Maybe. Yeah. I always thought it did skew a bit older.
Yeah.
Which is funny now. It's on Network 10, which used to be the youth network.
But it's so weird, like that they're playing reruns. Like, how old are these reruns? Are they from like 10 years ago?
Oh, no. I think like they air new episodes every weeknight, and then on the weekend they'll just play a few back to back to kill some time.
Oh, from the previous week.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
I thought they were playing them from like 10 years ago.
No.
Some of the contestants.
Although no one would know. So imagine watching and be like, "Wait a second, this episode's 10 years old."
Yeah,
it's in black and white.
You win a case of Tab Coca-Cola.
Yeah. I do like on Saturday Night Live, they sometimes do sketches of old game shows. And as a little joke, they'll be like, originally broadcasted in 1959, they come out, they're all in character and they're like, hitting their wives and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But I think in America they have the Game Show Network and they do play reruns of like really old episodes of whatever.
Oh my God.
Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune, but also like those, like the Pyramid Game and all those crazy old school game shows they have over in the States.
Yeah, that makes me feel kind of suicidal if I was watching that stuff.
Imagine, but also 24/7. It's like at least.
It's like that woman from Requiem for a Dream, the one who gets all drugged up and thinks she's going to go on a...
I love that movie.
It's a very funny comedy, that's for sure.
It's a comedy?
Everything's a comedy if you look at it.
That's true. Through that lens, through that frame.
Lens. People just might think you're a psychopath.
What's your favorite game show?
I like the Japanese ones, where the suffering is real.
That's her.
Actually, no. That was I don't know if it's a game show. No, it was more of a reality TV show. Yeah, it was the one where they were fighting over the love of a woman, and then the woman turned out to be a man. And then all the guys thought
there's something about Miriam.
That's the one.
That was on Channel 10 like 20 years ago.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like a game show, I guess.
I don't know if this was...
like a Wheel of Fortune, penis is a vagina.
Rove and Pete Hellier did a joke on Rove Live, and I thought it was the funniest joke ever, and it's so silly. So they're like, 10's new show, there's something about Miriam, and Pete Hellier's got a new show. It's called Petey's Getting Circumcised. And I used to... think it was the funniest joke for some reason. In hindsight, not that funny, pretty silly.
I don't get it.
Just like anything can be a TV show, I guess.
Yeah. Well, my theory is that a lot of these TV shows are created in like boardrooms by like basically executives high on cocaine.
Well, I know for a fact that one particular show was created that way. Do you remember Surprise Chef?
Yes.
That was the brainchild of like a high up executive at Channel 7, and it was just like, what if we go to a supermarket and look through people's trolleys? And it was a way of, I guess, cross-promoting the supermarket items with the TV show. And that was the show, a crazy show. This I think he was a Greek chef, Aristos, would go through people's trolleys and say, whatever you've got in there, plus whatever you got at home, I'll come over and I'll cook dinner tonight.
I mean, that could also be like a branch off from Ready, Steady, Cook, which I remember with Ainsley Harriott.
Yes.
And they'd have like 5 ingredients. But then they would add like 20 other ingredients to make it.
Absolutely.
This is just a shit. What are you doing, man?
And they like 2 of the best chefs in the country with 2 silly contestants that had no idea. They're just slowing them down. But I went to a taping of that show.
Oh, really?
The Australian version, not with Ainsley. It was Pete Everett was hosting at the time, but they've had a few hosts.
Pete Everett, the guy who went total woke?
No, that's Pete Evans, who's
Pete
a
Evans.
chef on My Kitchen Rules.
I quite like that guy, actually.
Pete Everett was he was in, remember Changing Rooms? That was a reality show. And
I stopped watching television around the age of like
I'm such
20.
I'm such a fucking television nerd. I just assume everyone knows all these.
I was mad
shows.
into television, and then I don't know what happened. I discovered drugs.
Yeah. You became an adult. You stopped wasting your time with these.
No,
shit shows.
I don't know. And I'd still watch movies and stuff.
Yeah. Cultured things. But there was a show called Changing Rooms where two couples would change houses for a weekend and redesign a bedroom or a living room or kitchen. And Pete Everett was a interior designer, I believe. And then he hosted Ready Steady Cook. A very lovely guy. I went on, at the end they bring people up and I got to try some of the food.
Okay.
That was pretty fun.
I just had a concept. At the end of every single game show, they should just have a complimentary round of Russian roulette.
Yeah. So it's like you've won 1,000 or like whatever, how much money you've won $100,000,
Yeah.
or
each of those chambers, each of the 5 empty chambers has an even bigger prize.
Yes,
but the
yes.
catch is one of those chambers.
I think it's just a 50-50 chance. It's
a
like
bullet.
there's either a bullet or not. If there's a bullet, you're dead. If there's not, you win $1 million.
Yeah, and one of the chambers is just empty, and that you get gratitude for life.
I remember seeing on the internet a Japanese game show where it was guys trying to sing while getting jerked off.
Oh, wow.
And if they didn't come, they won.
I need to see this one.
I think they had to complete the song successfully without coming.
Wow. Well, I mean, we could replicate that today if you want, Tim.
But
I know it's a Saturday morning, but we'll just turn the lights down low, man. You've got 4 Red Bulls. That's enough.
I mean, the reason, but like that's crazy that aired on television. I don't know what their rules and laws are over there, but that's insane.
Yeah, I saw the one where they were just like they have them seated in like these ice baths, and then they make them drink all this cold beer and basically if you have to get up and piss, you lose.
That's hilarious. Do you know someone did that as a promotional competition, maybe like a radio competition when the Nintendo Wii came out, and it was like, you've got to hold your Wii and the last one standing wins the console.
Yeah.
And someone died.
How?
From holding it in.
Oh,
like
shit.
their bladder just exploded or something. So they had to call off the competition.
Wow.
But
I never knew that, but I'm glad I know that now, because now I'm not going to hold my
You're not
Wii
going to enter
for a
that
prize.
Nintendo competition anytime soon.
Oh, wow.
But also, they sometimes have competitions where they have like a new car and they have 10 people and then they have to hold onto the car, just touch the car. And the last one standing, holding onto the car, wins the car.
What's like? So how long do they stand there for?
It could be days. It depends how you. It's sort of like a survivor endurance challenge. As long as they go. Yeah. How much do you want that car? How much do you want that Kia?
On a side note, I met when I was traveling in Tibet. They have this horse rating because they don't have game shows or television in these extreme rural places.
Yeah.
And they were telling me how they had a horse archery competition, and I was like, "Oh, what do you win?" And he went, "Oh, you win a hatchback, 10 kilos of sugar, 10 kilos of tea, and 5 AK-47s."
The ratio of sugar and tea is a bit off there.
I was sort of making it up. Like, I couldn't remember the exact numbers. The main thing was the
one thing I picked up,
AK-47s.
it's like the hatchback and AK-47s. And I'm like, that's too much sugar for that amount of tea.
Well, out there, they like it sweet.
Yeah. The reason we have the Red Bull is a bit of an homage to the late, great Norm Macdonald. I don't know if you were a fan of his... but he did his podcasts and TV shows, like, because he was really desperate to be a talk show host, and he kind of campaigned to take over some late night shows and didn't get it.
That would have been great.
Yeah, but then he kind of got to do it, but
On his own,
and then Netflix produced a few episodes, and it would have been good. It was very Tom Schneider-ish one-on-one interviews. It was great, but he would always drink Red Bull, and the head of like programming at Netflix got him a fridge of Red Bull on the set of his show, and they would just smash it. And it's funny. I've been looking forward to recording this episode with you because I'm like, I'm gonna get a Red Bull.
Oh, really?
I'm really craving this right now.
I don't drink Red Bull.
You don't have to have one. No.
I'm not a big.
We've had a few guests that have opted out of the Red Bull, and that's totally fine. We should probably.
I'm more of a rock star guy.
Like mother.
Oh no, I'm actually a Liquid Death guy. Have you seen that one? I saw that.
Well, that's just water, isn't it?
Well, is it? I don't know. I just saw it at the petrol station. It was just like Liquid Death.
So the origin story goes with this product. Liquid Death is water in a can because a lot of music festivals were sponsored by energy drinks, and the musicians were emptying the energy drinks and filling it up with water so they could have water on stage. Oh. And they're like, what if we just put water in a can? And then I think now there's like flavored waters. And
then they had to call it Liquid Death.
They had to make it rock and roll, yeah. But it's a big product now.
You kind of need water to survive, so it's like it's actually false advertising. That's what it is.
The weird thing is it's like imported from America because it's like special spring water.
Imported Liquid Death.
But it's just water. I always thought, wouldn't it be sweet to do canned or bottled tap water? Just cold, fluoride tap water.
And like, would you price it above spring water or below?
It's got to be cheaper. Yeah,
it's got to be cheaper.
But it's cold.
What if
and ready
it was
to
like
go?
Special? Like if it was from the tap of a celebrity?
Yeah,
if it was
that'd be
Andrew
cool.
O'Keefe's tap water.
Yeah.
But you know they've got PFAS now in the water here in Sydney.
What's that?
It's a fire retardant. It leaked into the fire, the water supply. So it causes cancer and fetus deformation and
oh my god,
all these issues.
Yeah. I guess the people that are concerned about fluoride are like, well, it's not as bad as this.
Yeah, this is a forever chemical. But
I also like that we can still say the word retardant.
Retardant, yeah,
as long as it's like scientific.
Well, as long as it's applied to water.
To that,
if it was a frozen, like if a frozen water in the shape of a figurine.
Yeah, that water's retarded, man. What's been going on with you, bro? I haven't seen you in a while. It's
I was living up in half an hour south of Byron Bay, just doing gigs and.
Is that technically Queensland?
No, it's on the border.
It's still
but it's too far from
like
gigs.
Tweed,
yeah, around that area.
Yeah.
It was just below where all the influences like nest.
You're a Sydney boy originally, yeah.
Yeah, I grew up.
But you've been on this weird like regional quest lately. Like ever since you kind of quit comedy, you've been on this weird pursuit of like I'm going to live everywhere but Sydney.
That's it, but I keep getting drawn back here, so it's like this weird like okay, I'll just bear it for a few weeks and then bounce away, and then I guess because there's so many gigs here. So
I mean, I feel like we would all live elsewhere if Sydney didn't have what it has, and it's jobs. Pretty much that's why.
Yeah, but then it's so expensive. It's like you have to work all the time to like cover rent.
And that's the trade-off a lot of people are making. They're going, can I work less and live somewhere shittier? And they're moving up and down the coast normally. And they go, well, I'm not making as much, but I can afford a house or I can afford a better lifestyle or a better work-life balance. And that's the trade-off. And so many people, I guess, are saying, no, it's not worth it. Sydney's the place to be still, even if I'm working my ass off.
Yeah.
It gives me what
it's
I
almost
want.
as if what we have to do now is go on a game show.
But like
and win a house.
The top prize on most game shows and even reality TV, not going to solve all my problems.
What are the top prizes on Deal or No Deal?
$100,000.
$100,000?
That's right. Remember
how
game
shows?
shows?
How many times have people won that?
A bit, yeah. And also they'll walk away because it's about probability and sort of taking a deal when at the right point.
Yeah,
you could walk away with $50,000.
I actually just like looked down upon $100,000, like $100,000, and actually I would not look down.
Back in my day, a game show you'd be walking away with $1 million top prize.
That's what I remember from Sale of the Century, right? Back when that was worth even more.
But even Sale, it was accumulative, so you'd come back night after night and build a cash total, but then you could get an Alfa Romeo. You get all those, you get a new dishwasher and all those like little additional prizes. But that was a very hard game show.
Yeah, you had to know stuff.
Yeah, this show, it's like, is there any money in this? It's such a dumb show. It's just gambling. That's why I love this show so much. So, are you thinking about staying in Sydney for a while now?
Well, I'm moving around a lot. I'm developing a show for 2026, so I got to go where the gigs are. So it seems like I'll just be like going to Brisbane next for 6 weeks. I'm just zapping up and down the coast, going where the gigs are. It
sounds crazy to say, oh yeah, I'm developing a show for 2026, but we're almost at the end of the year, so that's only like a year away.
Yeah. It's only a year away.
And are you going to take this show to festivals? Are you going to film it? What are you going to do with it?
I'm going to just take it everywhere.
Yeah.
Yep. Just give it a shot, and if it doesn't work out,
The return of the prodigal son.
Back to regional Australia for me.
I'll be living in a ute in Darwin.
I'll be living in a shipping container in Tennant Creek.
Have you ever slept in a shipping container?
I lived in a shipping container for 4 years.
That's awesome.
That wasn't a joke.
That's awesome. That did seem
It had a bed.
like
It was
specific
converted.
thing, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen some great renos that people do with shipping containers and make them very livable.
You don't have to backtrack.
Was yours like that, or was yours just a bed?
Sure. It was a luxury shipping container.
Yeah. One of those 5-star shipping containers. I have seen.
I do miss it, actually.
Yeah.
It was rustic. It was quaint.
It's weird when you're like, oh, I miss those days living in a shipping container.
You know, some of the happiest years of my life were in that shipping container.
But then you poo-poo on $100,000.
Yeah, I poo-pooed $100,000, which I would gladly take on second thoughts.
But would
I would blow Andrew
$100,000?
Key for $100,000.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think.
I wouldn't enjoy it. That would cost extra.
I wouldn't make eye contact,
No,
but I'll do what I needed to do.
no, definitely not eye contact.
What would you do with $100,000?
Oh,
In the old days, you'd be like, I'd quit my job. I'd do this. It's like,
yeah.
no, I would
Like
invest it wisely.
Yeah, $100,000 is a weird amount because it's not enough to buy a house. It's enough to put a down payment
It's a
on a house.
small. It's a small deposit, really. You'd have to add your own.
And also, like, you know, I don't know. It sounds really irresponsible, but I think I'd just go on a fucking holiday somewhere.
Oh, yeah, sounds good.
Do that, or you know what? I'd use it to invest.
I think you'd almost have to. Like, it's not enough to do anything on its own. You'd have to make it work for you.
Yeah.
I would definitely get some advice, some financial advice on what to do. But even they would be like,
you got to give that guy like $5,000 then.
yeah, true.
Yeah.
But even they would be like $100,000. Get some cocaine and hookers. Don't worry about it.
What would I do? I don't know. That's a good idea, man. I'd probably just invest it back into my stand-up like an idiot. I'm already paying this producer. I just pay him for longer.
Well, someone was recording a special recently, and they told me the price of it, and I was just like, "Whoa!"
How much?
I think it was $5,000 or $10,000, and I didn't realize it cost that much because I
For
thought,
what? Hiring cameras?
yeah, maybe venue hire as well, and maybe they were doing like everything themselves. Where I just thought you'd just grab a few of your mates and they jump on a camera for you, and you just produce it like really dodgily. But I guess if you want it to look schmick,
Yeah.
you got to get a big $5,000 or $10,000 crew. That's a big investment.
There must be cheaper ways to do it, man.
Definitely now. I mean, we've come so far with cameras and audio equipment and all that stuff.
I wonder how much it costs per episode to make Deal or No Deal.
Not much. I mean, if they're pumping these out 5 days a week, they've got a good little crew. They've got a host that's on probably a bit of cash. And then it's just super.
And then the odd $100,000.
And then there's the risk reward of like, all right, how much money are we losing compared to how much money are we making?
And what's the shittiest prize on Deal or No Deal?
50 cents. It's in the intro of this.
50 cents.
Yeah, remember I said you could walk away with the monkey? The monkey is the 50 cents. That's like what they used to call it. So 50 cents is the smallest amount in the briefcase, and then the $100,000, and so everything in between that. And then...
Has anyone ever won the 50 cents? They must have, right?
Well, the only way you can technically win it is really if you play all the way to the end. So if, say, you've got 100,000 left and 50 cents left, and you go for it, you'd get because you'd get a bank offer of like $70,000.
Well, then really that worst prize wouldn't be 50 cents. It would be like just disappointment and self-recrimination.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the only way I think you could like go home with 50 cents if, say, you had 2 briefcases left, 50 cents, and then something also pretty low, and you were just like,
okay.
Fuck it, let's just play till the end. See
what would you do with 50 cents? What would you spend it on?
Well, back in the day, you'd get a few red frogs, but now I think the price has gone up on red frogs.
I think I'd throw it at Andrew O'Keefe. That's what I'd do.
So I think we're ready to watch the show. It
Yeah,
seems
man.
like you're keen to see how this works.
I've never been keener for anything in my life.
We're watching a Grant Denyer episode. So
What's Grant Denyer?
Grant Denyer is the new host.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Grant Denyer was a weatherman, and now he's hosting game
Now
shows.
he's moved. I don't know if I should trust weather channels now.
Yeah, what a weird pathway to be like.
What happened to Keefe? They dismissed him?
He's currently going through some stuff. But like he's back in the courts, and
For what?
I think he's out on bail. Just drug use and alleged drug use, I should say, allegedly, and I think he's also been charged with some violent crimes as well.
If they incorporated that into the game show, I would watch it more.
Yeah, just get him jacked up on something, and half the battle is also like fighting him for the money.
Yeah, or just try and prevent him from masturbating furiously in front of like middle Australian families.
I got to awkwardly jump over all the gear and press play.
That's all right.
Normally I hook this up to the TV, but I forgot to bring the cable. Can you see that all right?
I can see it all right.
We're lucky today. It's not too sunny. Sometimes we get a lot of glare on the screen, but we can see this all right. This is Deal or No Deal with
So there's no sound?
Grant Daniel. Well, yeah, the sound.
We are the sound.
We are.
Oh, okay, I get you.
Well, yeah. So this is okay. Have you seen this bloke before? Are you familiar with his work?
No. Like I said, I haven't watched television
That's
since 1975.
impressive. Like, I think he was nominated or won a gold Logie. And you have no idea who he is. I'm impressed by you. That
I tuned out of the modern world.
Do you know Tig Notaro?
Yes.
She does a little sketch where they bring on really famous people and she has to try and guess who they are.
Oh, really? She just doesn't know.
But they're like award-winning actors. And
Okay.
Because she's tapped out. But she's like in movies and stuff, so you'd think she'd know a few people in Hollywood.
Yeah, I figured so. But I definitely don't know this guy.
Okay, good.
But he has the large gesticulations of a game show host. You know, they always have to.
He's very small and known for being very small.
Yeah.
And I like this show because he always wears a 3-piece suit and always looks like a little fancy man.
Oh, okay, little fancy man. That's how I'll know him from now on.
I'm quite critical of the suits. They often go.
I think they should dress
silly.
like shit, like like just tracksuit pants and like tomato sauce stains.
I think it should be dependent on what they've won on the previous show.
Yeah.
So if they've given away a lot of money, their budget is reduced, so their costumes also have to be reduced. But
That
if
makes sense.
They haven't given away much money this season, they get some nicer clothes for the crew.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So this is episode 159. Matthew Bezos is playing today. He has chronic IBS.
Oh, irritable bowel syndrome.
And said, I'm going to get pretty nervous up here. If I have to take a break, I might have to run off and shit my pants.
He said that.
Yeah. And then
Did he say shit?
Grant Denyer said, all right, choose a briefcase. Don't choose number 2. And then...
That's a quick wit we love about
That's why we love
Tiny
him.
Fancy Man, whatever his name is.
So he's gone with briefcase 17. And Matthew said this number just came to him.
Okay.
He doesn't know why he picked it. It's not his lucky number or anything. But this is interesting. A lot of people come on this show and they go, oh, I'm playing for a holiday. I'm playing for a car. I'm playing for a house renovation. Matthew's got something cool to play for. In the last few months, he's lost 50 kilograms.
Oh, wow.
Which is pretty incredible. Look how slim he is. And what... Look, like he's very, very small.
Yeah. He has the likability of someone who used to be fat and now has the humility of knowing what it feels like to be a fat shit all the time. And now he's like skinny. That's
so
He's
funny.
likable. I like him.
So he's going to, if he wins some money today on Deal or No Deal, who's going to pay for skin tightening surgery.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to turn around and be like, oh, this is going to be for the Diabetes Foundation. But it's really just for basically plastic surgery. I'm not sure if I like this guy now.
They only give their money to charity when it's like celebrity Deal or No Deal.
Oh, yeah. That's fair enough. $75.
So first briefcase has been opened in the first round. They've got to open 6 briefcases until they get a first initial bank offer. So $75 has been picked, which is a pretty good way to start. You want to avoid that big side.
Oh, why is that?
Because then you've got more leverage.
Okay.
So every bank offer is based on what you've got left and what you possibly could win.
Okay.
But
Thanks for explaining this to me.
You could tap out any.
This is a lot more complicated than I thought.
It's the most basic show.
I didn't do my taxes for 5 years. This is giving me like the heebie-jeebies.
So $100. I mean, this is a great start. You just want to keep picking things on that blue side, the small side.
Yeah, man.
Do you know what's so funny? This podcast sort of started because my partner, who was a shift worker, stopped being a shift worker, and she would come home and this show would be on. And I would have to explain it to her because she had never watched it.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, oh, this could be a funny podcast. Sort of just trying to explain how the most basic game show ever created works.
You know what you need to do? You need to get Andrew O'Keefe on this show. Coked up, half naked, kind of violent.
Imagine if he was just really rude about the new production. He's like, I wouldn't have done that. In my day, we used to do it like this.
You would definitely get him riled up because he'd just be looking at the guy who took his job, just going, that fucking guy can't. He's an imposter.
3 briefcases to open until the first bank offer, and he has
$250
taken out $250, but also $2,500. So one biggish one, but still on the lower side of things. I'm excited to see this bank offer if he keeps picking briefcases.
So what's the bank offer?
Well, they just go, all right, you've gotten rid of those ones. You've got a few big ones in play. We're going to offer you some cash to take it, now.
Oh, okay.
And you can leave with this money right now, or you can keep playing on for either $100,000 or you could have 50 cents in your briefcase.
I was reading how they'd done research about the delay of gratification is one of the big deciders in whether or not a kid's going to be successful as an adult.
Delay in gratification
as a child? They give him a lolly and they like, you can either have this lolly now, but if you wait half an hour, we'll give you 2 lollies.
I've seen videos of them doing this sort of research.
Yeah, I would just take the lolly. I don't think I have the ability to delay gratification.
But this is a bit more logical because, well, in that case, they're sort of saying you will definitely get 2 lollies if you just wait half an hour. This is like you could potentially have 50 cents in your briefcase.
Yeah.
Or you could take our bank
That's
offer.
True. Oh, bank offer.
Which is $6,210.
How much does his operation cost?
I would say with the public health system, or if he's covered privately, he could get skin tightening surgery for $6,000 easily.
You reckon?
$6,000's nothing to blink at. And
you wonder what is the going rate for fat roll amputation?
One of my favorite TV shows is a show called Botched, which is 2 plastic surgeons in LA doing very unusual plastic surgery work, either on the face or body.
I thought you were going to say like 2 terrible plastic surgery.
No, they're like
they
are the best of the best. If you wanted to get something done, you'd go to these guys.
Okay.
But they always have 3 stories. One of them's tits.
Okay.
One of them's a sob story, something like this. I've lost a lot of weight, and I want to get skin tightening. And then sometimes it's tits and sob story in the same thing.
Oh, what do you mean?
I've had a kid and my boobs are just deflated balloons. And now I need to get implants. And that's the best one. When you can balance tits and a sob story into television, that's a great Venn diagram.
Everyone loves subbing into tits.
We've all done it.
It's one of the rare comforts as a grown man.
He really didn't even think for a second about his first bank offer. That was a pretty good offer. $6,000.
$6,000?
But no one ever takes the first offer.
No.
But it's funny, that could be...
What happens if someone takes the offer? Do they just get a new person there?
They have to keep playing of like what you could have won.
Oh, no, I wouldn't do that.
So he'll probably take an offer at some point and they'll just keep playing. And then it'll be like, I could have kept going. So there goes the monkey, 50 cents. They used to have like a graphic and it would go like, and a little monkey would come up.
A monkey complained.
And then they're like, that's too racist. Yeah, we can't do that.
The woke monkeys rose up.
But it is funny watching this show without audio because we're missing all this great banter.
Oh.
Do you know what they do?
Better this better.
So when they open a briefcase, they get to pick, or they get to have a guess of what they think is in the briefcase. And then if they correctly guess it, they win $250.
$250.
So they always go, oh, Grant, I think I've got $5 in my briefcase. And they open up, maybe it's $5. They win $250.
They're just giving money away.
Yeah. You got to win something for being up on the podium.
How do they select these podium people?
I'm not sure. I used to think in the old days they had 6 lots of studio audiences and they would just go number 6 or say number 4, you're up and one of you's playing. But I'm not sure how they do it on this version. I reckon they go around and just pick people that look interesting. I think a lot of prep goes into this show and they pick people with floral shirts and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
There's definitely a science to it.
Yep.
We must be getting close to another bank offer. 1 case to open until the next bank offer, and he's kept most of the big stuff in play and he's gotten rid of a lot of small stuff. So he's probably going to get a bank offer. I'm going to say of around 10,
11
10
grand. That's
11,
what
you
I'm
reckon?
guessing.
Yeah. As long as he keeps that $100,000 in play. I'm guessing this might be the contestant's partner or family member or friend or brother.
Oh, trying to pressure him.
Yeah, they keep talking to him.
Oh,
Pretty good round, $25. A great way to finish that round. Here comes a bank offer. I reckon you're right. I reckon somewhere around $11,000. And again,
then his family's going to get in his ear. And
you got to start thinking about taking it. Yes, you've got a healthy looking board up there right now, but how long can your luck last for? You're going to start.
you can see the look on his face.
So he's been offered
8,000. I keep going.
480. Yeah, that's not as big as we thought it was going to be. So, and the crowd's going wild. They're saying
they're
no
really getting
deal.
into it. Yeah. They're saying fuck 8 grand.
But yeah, we got to remember.
What can
Okay,
that get
he
you?
got offered 6. He got offered 8. Is he going to be able to top that? Because a lot of people keep playing on, and the next briefcase he opens 100,000. The next briefcase he opens 50,000, and you don't actually get a better offer than your first 2.
Oh, so if he does pick the 100 grand,
His offer will diminish.
that's off the.
Yeah.
Okay. Deal. This was definitely conceived by some people on coke, and I think maybe Rohypnol.
Have you ever watched The Price Is Right? That's
That's
a
with
crazy-
Larry
yeah.
Emder, right?
It was, yeah, for the
He's
Australian
quite charming
version.
for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, he just won the Gold Logie, and that was a big deal because he's been
Okay.
on TV for like 40 years.
I had no idea.
But he
Must
was
be
a
great,
real
wasn't it?
game show guy. I think started as a journalist, went into game shows, and now he's doing some morning
Can't go back to
shows.
journalism after that, can you?
No, I don't think they'll have you.
This is Larry Emder reporting from Gaza.
You can't win a Walkley after you've hosted The Price Is Right. $20,000, not a great way to start the show. But yeah, The Price Is Right had some wacky games. That used to do my head in. That was a hard show to sort of understand, and they would have to explain.
I think the last. What were the games?
There was that one cliffhanger, I think, where a yodeler went up a mountain and you had to stop it at the right time before it went off a cliff.
What? I've no memory of that. A
But-
yodeler.
Because Bob Barker
What's a yodeler? Like, as in literally a person.
it was a little
yodeling.
it was a little prop.
Oh, it was a prop.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you meant like a real person. Yep.
It's funny that I'm going through like a game show history with you, and you've literally not watched TV in 30 years.
The last game show I remember was "Don't Forget Your Toothbrush."
Is that a game show?
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could win a trip somewhere.
That's my friend who is a big fan of Deal or No Deal and this podcast. That's his like favorite TV show.
Don't forget your toothbrush.
Yeah.
Okay.
Loves Tim Ferguson. Loved that show. And that was like a big budget show back in the day.
I remember that. Well, I remember there was a lot of ads pumping it up, and then when I saw it, I was just like, oh, it's okay, I guess. Oh, wow, it went down.
Went down because he lost a few big ones.
Oh,
That's tough. That's real tough. $5,060 when he
How's
could
that?
have had almost
Six-
$9,000 his last offer. So he's got to keep playing now. I think he can't go backwards.
yeah, you can't go backwards.
And he still has the $100,000 in play. As long
Yeah.
as that's still in play, the bank offers should remain
Yeah.
somewhat healthy.
This episode is like, nah, it's corny, that joke.
Would you know? Go for it.
Rolls or no rolls?
Skin rolls.
Rolls or no skin.
I actually got excited when I did the prep. I'll watch the first 5 minutes of an episode just to sort of get the backstory of the contestant.
Okay.
And normally it's a very boring reason. What are you playing for? And when he was like, I'm playing for skin surgery, I was like, yeah, this is a good one. And I'm sort of rooting for him in a sense. I want him to get
Yeah.
that surgery. And are they going to take that away from him? If he walks away with $100,000, surely Channel 10 can chip in and go, oh, we're going to buy you the surgery.
Yeah, I reckon that would happen.
On an episode a while ago, someone was playing for some landscaping.
Yep.
And it was like, mate, how much is landscaping? Just get a quote.
Well, I don't know. If you're going to spend it on landscaping, do you really need the money? Because that means that guy already owns fucking acres of property.
Yeah, you've already got a nice house.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
just need your garden done.
Just need your garden done and an in-ground pool.
Imagine if, are you a fan of The Simpsons?
Yeah.
You know, like when Mr. Burns wins the car at the baseball game. So they're like,
I can't remember that episode.
all right, the winner of the new car is seat number 0001C Montgomery Burns. And he walks out and he's waving. Everyone's booing and throwing pretzels at him. Imagine if you were really, really wealthy and went on this show.
That would be funny.
And you're like, I don't even need this cash.
Yeah.
What are you playing for? This is just going to do nothing.
I'm just going to burn the money.
Yeah.
I'm going to drive the money into a poor part of town and just burn it.
I'm going to go to an orphanage, get all the kids out of the front and just light it on fire. All right, he's working his way back up. He's had some good rounds here.
Now, is he going to take the offer now that he's coming back up and he's getting a bit worried?
He's still a few grand away from what his maximum offer was. He's about $2,000 off what he originally...
I would keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, well, let's weigh up what he's got on the board. So he's got $50 left on the small side, $750 left on the small side, and then on the big side, $1,000, $10,000, $50,000 and $100,000. The audience seemed to say no deal. His partner or friend or whoever that is sort of said the cliche thing that they all say on this show: one more.
No deal.
Just go one more.
One more.
See what happens.
That's
and
a
then,
catchphrase.
And then you open $100,000 and you're fucked.
Yeah.
The name of this podcast is called I Came Here With Nothing, and that's a cliche thing a lot of contestants will say when they've shat the bed. They'll go, well, I came here with nothing.
And then I'm leaving.
But it's like you could have actually got almost $9,000 a few rounds ago.
Yeah, but you can't play that mental game, man. Otherwise, it'll drive you crazy.
That's why I could never go
on
on this show.
You gotta be like, c'est la vie.
If I went on this show and lost a bit of money, I couldn't live with myself.
Yeah, well, I mean, at that point, you gotta chuck a fucking hissy fit on stage. Just be a bad loser. That's what I do.
It is funny how well some people handle it when they've lost some money.
Well, I mean, publicly, but then they get behind closed doors. They're chucking chairs around. They're beating their wife or whatever.
I can't hide my emotions. My eyes start to water when I've fucked up.
Okay.
I can see it in people on this show sometimes when we've lost a bit of money. Their eyes will start to water a little bit.
Yeah.
It's hard to watch.
Yeah. Well.
All right, so he's just knocked out the $10,000. Not a bad one to knock out again. As long as that $100,000 is in play, we're doing all right. I think this kid's going to get his skin surgery.
Yeah.
I don't want to jinx him. But, they filmed these episodes so far in advance, he might have already had it by now. He might be walking around with a nice flat stomach.
He might have, no skin rolls, but might have just gotten fat again.
Is that a risk if you lose the weight?
I don't know, but just to get the operation again if he wins the $100,000.
Oh,
he's fucked
he
up.
lost the $100,000 and he's just about to get a bank offer. This is going to really mess things up for him.
Yeah.
So he's got $50 left, $750 left, $1,000 left, and $50,000 left. That's pretty generous of the bank after such a big hit.
How good could it get after this?
Well, the biggest he can walk away with is $50,000, but that's if he plays right to the end and he's got that in his briefcase.
Oh. What? One more? They're saying one more.
I'm not sure if that is deal, like take the deal or go one more.
But they're the audience. They don't know him. So they're not emotionally linked to the
they
guy.
haven't seen him without a shirt on. It's disgusting.
They just want to see the guy. They just want to be entertained. His interests aren't in their best.
He is really contemplating this. $5,180. He's talking it out.
I just want to know how much it costs per roll to be removed. Yeah, those guys are saying one more round.
Well, is it just a tummy
tuck?
tuck?
No deal. What a fucking champ.
I think I've seen enough
all or nothing
of the tummy tucks on Botch where they just sort of get rid of a lot of skin and then pull it down and staple it.
I'd hold on to mine because you could make it into a little tent.
Do you know Ian Moo?
No.
He's a comedian. He was on this podcast. Really funny guy. He lost a lot of weight rapidly.
Okay.
And the doctor said he's around 75 kilos, but I think he used to be like 200 kilos.
Oh, shit.
And the doctor said if you get up to close to something like 80 kilos, we're going to put you on Ozempic because the risk of you just ballooning again is too high.
Just what?
Putting the weight back on again.
Oh, because he's crash dieting.
Something, yeah. This is the highest bank offer he's gotten.
Ooh.
$10,160. You got to think about taking that.
I'd think about taking that.
The audience is telling him deal. He's got a 1 in 3 chance of winning $50,000. He's got, a 1 in 2 chance if he gets through the next round with the $50,000 in place of getting maybe a bigger offer. But is it too much? I think he's going to take this. He's nodding his head. Grant's giving him a little pep talk. 10 grand ain't a bad day at the office. Take the deal.
Yeah, I'd take it.
For sure. Oh, what are they talking about? They're just saying, we need more money for your skin. You've got so much skin, bro.
Think about how much more skin you could remove for 50 grand.
Imagine having 10K worth of skin.
Man, I just sort of dry it out and hang it on the wall.
I've never seen someone talk about an offer so long. Like, this is crazy. They
got to draw it out. It's a suspense.
But these are 22-minute episodes. Wrap it up, sweetheart. All right, he's taking the deal. $10,160.
Now he's got to keep playing.
Well, now you'd see what he could have gotten if he had picked a certain briefcase. And also, what's in his briefcase? What has he leveraged this whole
Oh, so he has a
thing
briefcase
on?
as well.
Yeah, so whatever's in his briefcase. So he's just picked a briefcase and he's gotten rid of $750. Okay. So he's
down to 1, down 2.
The bank, they're going to show what the bank offer would have been.
Yeah.
And it's going to be big. It's going to be 20-something. Yeah. 20,000.
This is kind of psychological torture in a way.
Yeah, it's sad making you play it
It's
through.
like a psyop. It's sad to make them play through this. This is like, it's like the entertainment is their regret.
That's double straight up.
Yeah.
Like that.
They should really rub it in.
So now let's see what's in briefcase 17, the briefcase with no significance to this person whatsoever. What could he have actually taken? He had the $50,000 in his briefcase.
Oh.
So if he had just played it through to the end, he would have won that. But he got $10,000.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, the audience are devastated for him.
Yeah.
Oh, how sad. And no one correctly guessed anything in that episode, which is sad. I like when they win some money on the podium. But $10,160, that will surely take care of a bit of skin.
I think so. I want to see him chuck a fucking tantrum. Chuck a spack attack.
Are the eyes watering a little bit?
Yeah.
Well, that was Deal or No Deal. I hope you enjoyed it. Do you understand how the show works?
You learn something new every day, and I'm going to take this to my grave, Tim.
It's funny. You know that scene in Billy Madison when he talks about the puppy that lost his way, and then Jim Downey's like, everyone in this room is now stupider for listening to what you just said. That's what I feel like I just did to you. I'm like,
no, not at all.
You just forced me to watch this stupid game show. I could have read a
book.
I
was actually, I want to know how people live. Did that sound condescending?
Yeah, your average Australian would have a TV dinner, have a big glass of cow's milk, with a beef stroganoff, and watch that every night. That's how normal Aussies
That's
live.
the average Australian.
While you're out partying, doing crazy drugs, having sex with beautiful women, this is how the rest of the world lives.
Wow, is that my life? That sounds amazing.
So what I like to do at the end of the podcast is just pitch a few jokes, because sometimes the podcast ends and they've lost a lot of money and it's a bit of a bummer. So I just like to try and get things, perk things up again. So I've got some half-baked premises that I want to pitch to you.
Okay.
Isn't this a weird concept? If you donate blood, you can save a life. But if you donate sperm, you can create a life.
That is true.
So it's like, how much do we want to invest in the old? Like, you want my blood so you can keep living, or I can just create a new one?
What if you... Yeah. Not
really a joke, just a thought.
No, I'm trying to make something funny.
so am I, Nick.
And like in my head, I'm like sperm, cum, blood, smash them together. What if they had big bags of cum? Like if you could get a cum transfer instead of a blood transfer.
What about if you went on this show and you're like, "What are you playing for?" I've got too much cum. I need a cum reduction.
I would like to donate cum to the World Animal Organization. Don't ask me why.
Yeah, why do the animals
I've just got a lot to give.
I don't think you should hit kids, but I definitely don't think you should be hitting IVF kids, because that's a $30,000 kid.
That's funny.
The only person who's allowed to hit an IVF kid is the lab technician that put it all together. Also, here's one more for you.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You got
no. I'm like, why would the IVF guy? Because he would be more invested in the process.
That's right. He's done all the work.
I think only if the IVF kid is maybe ungrateful to the IVF guy. If he's like,
oh yeah,
fuck you and your test tubes.
You're not my real dad.
Yeah, you call that a turkey baster?
Yeah, Dr. Mark from the clinic is my real dad.
It's like, why I got after all I've done for you.
This one's got a bit of truth in it, and I'm trying to make it work, and I don't know how, but I'm starting to get fat, and I've got a bit of a decision to make. I can either get healthy, I can start eating better, I can start exercising, or I can get a shitload of tattoos. I like that you laughed immediately.
That's funny, man. Because it is true.
And it works. Fat people with a lot of tattoos look boss.
What if you just get a tattoo of like several skinny people on your fat?
I actually have a
Or you could go on Deal No Deal and just get the fat rolls removed. Just lie to the operating guy.
But
just
I
be
haven't
like, yeah,
lost
this is skin, not fat. Just get rid of it.
Liposuction is an option. Imagine if you were just really vain and went on Deal and were like, I want to get crazy plastic surgery. I don't even want to look like me anymore.
I want to get a third tit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to get a third testicle and another butthole. Yeah.
That way everyone's happy.
Like, don't you want a new Toyota, whatever, RAV4? It's like, nah, bro.
No.
I want that second butthole.
I just want a third tit on my back.
Well, we got to get out of here. Nick's son, thank you so much for being part of the,
no worries,
show
Tim.
today.
I had a good time.
Yeah, thank you. All right, we got it. Keep dealing. What's the deal with everything? And I hope you have a good one. Bye.
See you later.